I assume, and every time he bounces with his cards, it adds 1 to the cost. This is going to cost me 9 next turn, so I need to draw a resource in order to replay it. And this time, his champion's ability only gave him a 3/3, which is good, because it can't attack through either of our guys very well. Resource. Counter Magic's great draw. Give this a random keyword. Speed, not so useful. I'm going to play another Inquisitor and make his Rock Elemental an 0/3. I'm going to go ahead and attack with these two guys. He might trade his Buccaneer for the 3/2. It's not an awful trade, because it's going to keep getting random keywords, so it might eventually get like Swift Strike and Life Drain and be a real problem for him. Yeah. So he's going to 13 here. I'm thinking the Counter Magic probably locks up this game. Yeah, so hit this just in time. Otherwise, this with this was going to probably let him draw enough cards. Yeah, and he concedes, so he agrees with my assessment that the Counter Magic likely locks up the game. Alright, what am I doing here? Rockcast is pretty good. Destroys a troop with cost 3 or less. Vampire Kiss is reasonable. It kills his Azure Fate Sorceress. Withering Touch is not bad. Grabs a non-troop card. Vampire Branch is just like quality flying lifelinker. I actually don't really like Extinction in this matchup because of how awkward it was in that second game. Rise Again was good in that game, but I don't think it's good on average in this matchup. And usually I board out the Azure Fate Sorceresses in the Counter Magic matchups, because if they Counter Magic the Azure Fate, the combo in this deck no longer works. Have to trim a few more cards. Inquisitor's pretty medium as well. It was reasonable in that game because it was beating him down, but this card keeps coming back into play, but it gets if it gets counter magicked, it doesn't get that effect, so it's not nearly as good as when it's just dying, and his deck's really not killing it. So one of the things that's neat in this game is these cards have sockets in them, so you can customize the cards both when you build the deck and in between games when you're reserving. So you can give it different abilities from game to game. So the combo is we have a guy that puts 5/5 that puts spider tarantula eggs into our opponent's deck, and then the Azure Sorceress has a mill gem that you can play that when the Azure Sorceress has a mill gem that when she comes into play, she mills your opponent equal to her power plus toughness. So if you do that, you can mill into a spider, and then the spider also mills them because the Azure Sorceress inspires things to have the same power she does. And then the spider mills them 10, etc., etc. So Withering Touch on 1's pretty powerful. He only has Mastery of Time, so I guess we'll take that. So the rest of his cards are troops. Whenever the Great Worth deems it appropriate, it will be back online. So he has a Tunneler, which is probably Reese again. Our hand thankfully has Kill and Counter Magic this time, so we're not going to have that awkwardness. We also have a Reese on 2, which is great. This is the redesigned Magic Online client that looks reasonable. Same or higher cost, sure. So we're just going to kill this guy ASAP, because this is the one that lets him draw a bunch of cards when he combos it with the Sorceress. So, and the Sorceress is quick, so he can't just hold up Counter Magic and hope to get rid of the Sorceress that way. So, just going to kill this now. There's another one. It's pretty good. So we have Arcane Focus to hopefully find another removal spell. We did. Found Rotcast. Sweet. Requires a second blood threshold, so we'll play that out and cast Rotcast on this guy. And then next turn we can play Exarch of the Egg and hold Counter Magic up for when his Reese comes off of suspend. So if he hasn't drawn a counterspell, we're going to get to answer his Reese, and he has a cantrip of his own, so this increases his chances of having Counter Magic next turn, getting to see more cards. Alright, well that was much better. So instead of playing the Exarch of the Egg, we're going to cast Inquisition here and make sure our Counter Magic's going to resolve on his Reese. Azure Fate. I think I'm just letting this happen because I really want to make sure. I really want to Counter Magic this Reese, and this is just dealing damage to us. It's not. Please have a spell. Please have a spell. Yeah, sweet. So we take the Mastery of Time, and then Counter Magic's going to resolve on his Reese, and then it's our Reese and Exarch of the Egg versus his top decks. Alright, and he drew a Shard, which lets him activate Tezot's ability. So he's going to get to hit us for some damages here. He's going to, because Tezot triggers on this. Is it a bad one? Yeah, it's medium. He gets a 4/4. Does 4 to us, so we go to 19, and then it sets us to 17. One of the reasons I really like this champion Dreaming Fox that I'm using is your starting life total is 25, so... Ready? Removal spell? Alright. Shard's not bad. So our champion ability when we get to 7 creates a card that draws us 2 cards, so we're heading towards that. Got a 1/3 lethal that blocks his 4/4 nicely. Hopefully Reese gives us some 6 sick robots. Got a literal 1/1 Scrapyard Dynamo. And hey look, there's one of the eggs that was in our deck. So opponent drew an egg and then it got discarded and we got a 1/1 that's unblockable. Opponent concedes. Got him. So now 1-0 in the gauntlet. So gauntlets are similar to, I believe it's Hearthstone Arenas. I haven't played a ton of Hearthstone, so I'm not sure. I might be remembering the wrong name. But you play until you get 5 wins or until you get 3 losses. Light Reaper. I think this is usually the 5-shard champion. Let's do target troop you control. No, it's an aggressive champion. Misremembering. The PvE campaign is completely free. You get 200 cards to play that when you sign up. If you want to play with the competitive constructed decks, you either have to grind the PvE a whole bunch to get currency, or you need to put some money into it. It is free to download and try, though. This hand's very good. It's got Arcane Focus on 1 to hopefully help us find another Shard. We got Exarch of the Egg on 2, and we've got Fentio, who we actually haven't cast yet. The payouts are based on wins. So five wins is the same regardless of how many losses you have. It is the 5-shard one. Okay, I'm remembering correctly then. So you get one pack per win. You get 1 pack per win, and you get 2 packs for the 5th win when you finish the arena with win. So you get 6 packs for 5 or better. Alright, so we found another Shard, but it's not a second blood to cast Fentio on 3, so we're really looking for another blood, which is exactly what we found. Correct. And it's a trading card game. You can trade cards with other players, so you can also just buy cards like you can on Magic Online through shops. Hex Primal and 5 shards both offer you. Once per turn, this gets plus X plus O. Interesting. Alright. So Exarch of the Egg puts 2 spider eggs in his deck and has 1/3 lethal. Let's get that out there. And whenever I play another Ven, Yeah, definitely. All those same principles apply Larynx. Very very similar. Just and that's not something limited to just Magic. It's just TCGs in general. You want to snap block. Has another one, sure. So we're gonna play our Fentio out here. Inquisition, huh? I kind of want to play Fentio. Yeah, I'm gonna play Fentio one turn, a couple turns behind. Inquisition lets me check his hand for a removal spell because if Fentio lives, usually we just get to get him. His hand is mono troops. What does this do? I hate the full out cards because you can't tell what they do. It gets invincible when it has all the thresholds. When you play this, you may revert or should be request them put that troop in your hand. Okay, I'm gonna take the invincible guy. So what's likely going to happen here is we're going to play Fentio in 2 turns. Next turn we're going to play our 4th shard and then Extinction to kill this troop that he has in play now and whatever troop he plays next turn. So he's going to play his Shard of Fate and then... Oh, he's going to play his 4 cost. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just... This is like a 1.5 for 1 because his other guy returned a card to his hand. So it's not really a 2 for 1, but it's close. So next turn we play Fentio, and then assuming that he hasn't drawn a removal spell, we know one of his cards isn't a removal spell because it's still a troop that we saw with Inquisition. So if we get Fentio and then start activating Brood Baron, we're gonna just like take over the game really fast. So Fentio puts Tarantula Eggs into our opponent's deck, which creates 5/5 5/5 spiders, and then Brood Baron at the beginning of every one of my turns doubles the amount of eggs in his deck. So it stacks up pretty quick before. Yeah, I've played against this deck once before. I think this is like a Satellution brew, right? Some of the artwork in this game is really good. Most of the artwork in this game is really good, actually. Alright. Yep. And he can't attack at least. See, if I was him, I would have attacked with the 3/3 first to see if maybe I don't block because he could have a trick. So let's activate this. Activate Brood Baron. So he's got 3 eggs in his deck right now. So next turn, we'll target him with this, and then we'll activate Fentio in response, and that will put him up to puts him up to 12 eggs in his deck. So that's pretty good. Not blocking this because he has an ability that lets him pay X resources to give it X power. Magic Online is currently non-functional. Magic Online is often non-functional. Right now, you can't even connect to it because the server is offline. So as soon as the server is back, we'll play some. So there are now 12 Tarantula Eggs in his deck. Counter Magic's a medium draw. I think I'm going to activate my Champion Power and draw some cards here. We're really looking for a sweeper or something. I guess this stops a sweeper. Oh, that was not good. We need to hit a Tarantula this turn. He's got 12 eggs in his deck, so we got like a 20% chance hitting a Tarantula. We missed. I'm just taking the hit again. So he's going to pump this 7, which puts it to 10. So we're going to go to 7 here, which might be a little aggressive. So we're going to target him with this and activate this again. So this puts him up to 50.